What is your general experience trying to befriend guys in a platonic way? How do you all go about befriending heterosexual men without having your intentions misread? Do any of you have successful, long-term platonic friendships with the opposite gender? Do you guys hang out one-on-one, and does it ever cause tensions with your so? My experience is similar to what others have posted. All of my male friends have eventually confessed to having feelings. The only exceptions are when I've befriended my so's male friend group. Those guys all had enough respect for my so, me and our relationship that they've always treated me purely as a platonic friend. I've always had platonic heterosexual male friends. They're always part of a larger friend group. I never hang out with them alone. We don't text or call each other excessively. It's always pretty clear from the beginning that we're friends. It worked well for me twice. The first guy was already happily married. I got along fine with his wife, but me and the guy really clicked and hung out solo quite a bit. He has the best marriage I've ever seen. Even though me and his wife were only friends through him, she was always super pleasant to me. The other guy simply wasn't attracted to me at all. We mainly partied together. L actually introduced him to his current wife, and I was a bridesmaid in her wedding. LVE been friends with these guys for over a decade now. They all eventually ask me out. Kinda given up TBH. I won't avoid men, but I'm not very open to heterosexual male friendships. One of my best friends is a heterosexual man. There's never been any issues because we're very much not each other's type. Our relationship is so platonic we're practically related. A few of his girlfriends in the past have had an issue with it up until they met me, and then it's always fine. Same goes for a majority of my past partners as well. I don't know exactly how to describe our friendship. Other than anything romantic is nothing we've ever even considered. I've never had any issues. I think most adults can tell the difference between friendliness and flirtiness. Probably have the same amount of female friends and male friends, and I hang out with them in groups and individually. My spouse doesn't care. They know we are just friends and we are all married. We don't feel the need to unnecessarily police each other's friendships without reason. We aren't in 7th grade. Men and women can be platonic friends. I get to know and become friends with men the same way I do with women. Find common interests, ask them about themselves, joke around, things like that. Always starts out nice until they get a girlfriend and ditch me with absolutely no explanation. I don't believe in getting in between people's relationships, but I've had close friends just act like they don't know me. It sucks, but lesson learned. I feel like it works if you aren't physically desirable, like in my case. I've unfortunately never had a truly successful platonic friendship with anyone of the opposite sex, since they always wanted more, either because they were romantically interested from the beginning while my interest is just platonic, or because they developed feelings as we became closer friends. I've had instances where we tried to make our friendship work by having a break and putting some distance between us. I hoped it would help them move on, but it never really worked, and I had to end most of these friendships and burn bridges because we couldn't be on the same wavelength. I find it's helpful to have some sort of situational commonality, like being co-workers or being in the same class. There's less chance, although it's certainly not zero, of them misreading friendly as flirting. I've got one long-term dude friend in particular who started out as co-worker and ended up as roommate. His mom definitely shipped us hard, and we did often get mistaken for a couple. Which TBH we totally leaned into if we thought we could get free dessert or something out of it. He asked exactly once if I was interested in him, accepted my no at face value, and never brought it up again. Because his mama raised him RLIGHT. It was never a problem with us, so I think it actually helped him in dating. It seemed really reassuring to any date/girlfriend of his that there's this petite woman who lives with this giant bear of a man with no anxiety whatsoever, and that she can just ask me up front about, I guess, about any red flags. Like literally the biggest problem he has as a human and as a potential partner is that he's not clear about the difference between in the sink and on the sink you're gonna be fine girl. Doesn't work. They all fall in love. It's always happened organically. I have never put any effort into trying to form friendships with men. A lot of them drifted away after getting into a relationship. Majority of the time they ended up having a crush on me TBH. But it never really ruined the friendship. I'd let them know I wasn't interested and they were all easily able to move on, and we stayed close friends while they had other crushes/GFS. Though when I did have an so, L avoided hanging out with them alone to not cause trouble, and same when they hadn't so. Only one girl got extremely jealous. of me. She was toxic and emotionally abusive to my friend. It was beyond just jealousy. The rest never cared about my friendship with their BFS. Most of the guys I'm friends with want like soft, skinny, dainty girls, so I've never had an issue just because I'm the opposite of what they looking for. Also I'm pretty uggo, which is yet another reason why it works lol. It's a 50-50th experience for me. I have plenty of male friends, some of which being very close, who I've been staying completely platonic with, and neither of us wanted to take things any further. Conversely, I also had male friends from the past who either confessed to having feelings for me or tried to get sexual with me. These guys I ended up cutting off completely. I'm a man, but perhaps my answer is relevant to since my best friend is a woman. To start off, I did develop feelings for her in the beginning and got rejected. Though we had to have a small break, I was clear I didn't want it to end the friendship, so in the end we somehow ended up being closer friends than before. Been best friends for about 8 years now. Never had any issues with her SOS as far as I know. Meet one-on-one more than not, but I've always encouraged to get her SOS involved. If I were to advise how to avoid the confessing feelings part, it would work for me if she told me so explicitly in the beginning. Though LVE heard stories that this isn't guaranteed to work, and I understand it's perhaps not an easy talk to have. I have more platonic relationship with guys than with girls. It started with my best friend and he introduced me to his friend group and I slid in like that. With all of them we were friends immediately, there was no flirting or whatever. We hang out one-on-one all the time and both have SOs. My SO had a problem with it. He was bothered with how close we actually were when he already told him since day one. It is fixed now. His SO is a sweetheart. Yeah, I have some purely platonic male friends. It's never really a problem. Yes, I have a couple of them. They are my sports buddies and we do hang out alone because that's the point. We are scuba divers. They are married and there was never anything even remotely sexual. And no, it doesn't cause any tension for their wives. I really don't think so. That's just ridiculous. I stopped bothering when my good friend of 7 years confessed that he was in love with me and refused to acknowledge my partner's existence, then acted like a baby when I attempted to set up some boundaries. All of my exes got mad at me for hanging out one-on-one with my guy friends, but then felt justified when the guy ended up confessing his feelings to me. It's just not worth the aggravation and feeling like my friendship isn't worth anything. I have lots of platonic guy friends. The ones I see the most right now are from my hockey team. I'm straight and so are they, as far as I know. We don't usually hang out alone together intentionally, but it does happen sometimes. I got to the rink on Thursday and my friend C was there waiting in his truck since the rink is outdoors and it's 85 right now. I hopped in the passenger seat and we just chatted until more people came. My husband and I trust each other. It's definitely not a problem. He has female friends too. I guess I can't speak to whether any of them are in love with me or not. I really don't think so. As to how to make male friends, just keep it casual. I assume you have some stuff in common you like or you wouldn't be interested in being friends. You both love Star Wars? Talk about that. You both knit? Talk about that. Male friendships aren't like female friendships. Yes, I know, some are different. You aren't going to be sitting around talking about your feelings or life goals. You will be doing something. It hasn't really worked out for me. Guys either end up having feelings or behaving inappropriately. I love meeting new people and am generally a pretty friendly person, so I have friendships with all sorts of genders including very close male friends. I think the best way I've gone about it is I always call my guy friends buddy, bud, due to establish that boundary, and I don't pretend I don't have a boyfriend. Even when I was single I would try to set that boundary immediately if I had no romantic interest. And it's easy to tell what someone's intentions are towards me within the first couple interactions. At that point you can address the situation, or if they're so bold you can politely refuse their advances and decide if you want to continue getting to know them better depending on how that goes. It's typically been that. I'm always joking around, and feel that scares/turns off a lot of guys. Some of whom, unfortunately, I would be interested in. So I guess in my case, being myself LOL have a platonic friendship with a guy. We met at work when I was 20, now 29. We met up twice and text each other about every year or so to catch up since we live on different parts of the country. I feel that most of my friendships with guys have this way. I'm a bit of weirdo, slightly androgynous, so maybe they see me as one of the guys. With him, we're just genuinely not attracted to one another. We've even shared a hotel room together once. Didn't get weird vibes. I'm 21 years old, have worked in a giant corporate retail job for 4+ years, made many friends during those years, and have had to cut off all the heterosexual men because they ended up exposing their wish to hook up with me or date me, even if we had a normal, good long friendship and they knew I was not single. They've had male friends who I was 100% platonic with, ghost me because their new girlfriend didn't like how pretty I was on their friends list or how we messaged each other, which was normal and platonically. Sometimes I add a black heart emoji when comforting a friend. Booty, guess that means I'm a threat. Even if I wasn't single, I was a threat. I give up having male friends, and in the future if I get comfortable with any male co-workers I will establish a work-only friendship with clear boundaries. I'm not a walking vagina for them to hunt until the right moment. I don't want anyone to flirt with me. Andy, don't want anyone to touch me or text me after work or nothing. Keep my social interaction and friendships online. To be honest, it's not easy. Mostly, I've made friends with men with similar interests as mine. The most successful ones are with men outside my age group, probably because attraction is less of an issue there. Also, a few of my male friends are ones that I've previously dated. We didn't work out, but stayed friends. Just happened organically. I'm even friends with their wives, with some of them more so than their husbands now. No, I don't even try. I get along with my male colleagues at work, but I don't need a guy's friendship. I could never trust them. All of my male friendships have ended due to them getting feelings. One tried backing me into feeling the same way, and the other just started ignoring me. First one, we were best friends for 6+ years. Once L hit like 19 we started going to house parties with our friends, and he would always be in the background hanging out with me more one-on-one. One of these parties he led me outside to basically confess his love for me. Our friendship started going down the drain because L felt forced into it. He started shoving his new GF in my face, and I cut ties. I unblocked him 6 months ago. He noticed and messaged me. Hadn't seen him in 7/8 years. He was newly married. Literally unblocked him the week before his wedding to that old GF, and asking he to hang out and getting annoyed when I said no. She always hated me and I wasn't about to start hanging out with a married guy that used to be in love with me. He would send me long paragraphs. I felt uncomfortable and blocked him again. Second one, truly a good guy, but couldn't handle his feelings. We used to run together 5x a week. I loved him deeply as a friend. He started backing out of plans until I stopped hearing from him. Last time we saw each other, he made sure to bring his sister. We ate in silence, and then I never heard from him again. I avoid making friends with men because it hurts to lose them. It was great before. I had mostly all just male friends as a kid and until I was a preteen. I got along with them very well as just friends and nothing more. But after the age of about 14 it hasn't worked really. I've met some people through my BF who are his friends too and we get along pretty good, but by myself no. It always turns into them either liking me or wanting to use me for their own greed.